Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for ScubaRadio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling the radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that ScubaRadio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for ScubaRadio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ and Bubba Boy are in the studio with me. How are you? How are you?
We keep coming back despite, lackluster shows.
Despite the fact that you're breaking all protocols.
I keep hoping this one will be better. I think today will be a good show.
You think?
It can't be worse than last week.
You are what we call an optimist.
Can't be worse than last week.
You think?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, maybe it could.
Well, that gives us
in and of itself would be an accomplishment.
Well, that would give us something to shoot for. Can we actually do worse than we did the week before?
It's good to have goals.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, maybe that'd be something to go for.
Well,
and I have the perfect story for it.
I know you do.
More highbrow stuff, Greg?
I'm trying to set your ass up.
We're gonna set a new level of I don't know, content that we do here on ScubaRadio. We cover stories that divers can relate to and can connect with. You wouldn't get on the mainstream media.
It's a relationship with the listener.
Right.
And intimate, and it's about to get very intimate.
Yeah. Well, there's a fish that has been discovered and in the waters off of Russia. This is not, Russian propaganda or, fake news or...
Wait a minute. Has this been run through the Ministry of Truth?
I believe it has.
Because I don't know if I can believe it if it hasn't been vetted.
I saw it on the intranets, so I'm guessing it must be true, but it's supposedly a Russian diver or scientist has found a new species of fish. And it has a very...
That's newsworthy.
Very unique look to it.
Is it a deep water fish? Is it, first of all, is it saltwater or freshwater?
I'm not real sure. I'm assuming it's saltwater. I'm assuming. All I have seen is the pictures and the name of the fish. And, if the scientist discovers the fish... So you didn't actually
read the article?
No, I read the article.
Oh, okay.
I did. And, if you're the scientist, if you discover a species of fish, usually they let the person who discovers this new species name it.
Right.
And he evidently named it the testicle fish.
Oh, so it was Dr. Gonad.
It might have been. I didn't get his name. Is that Russian?
Could be.
Yeah, it does kind of sound that. But, yeah, supposedly there's a fish that looks like, your golden nuggets. I mean, I don't, however you want to.
The twins.
Yeah, I don't think, calling it the testicle fish wouldn't necessarily be the way to describe it. I think we could come up with a better way to describe this fish.
Nads.
And just, you don't want to swim through a school of those.
Watch out for the nads. They're very sensitive.
I'll tell you, the picture it does look pretty nutty. It's, I couldn't help it, sorry. But
no, go ahead.
But yeah, it's crazy. The pictures. If you Google this, you can pick whatever name for your nether regions that you would like to, whatever you name them.
Ballfish.
Actually, let me check the article there.
How did I not come up with
a lot of people thought it was a big hose.
I like the.
They thought this was an urban legend.
Best of both worlds.
They said that's not a fish. That's
Did it look like it had a hose on it?
Sex toy. That's what people were trying to debunk the ballfish. I like his. Which one?
The scrotopus.
Maybe. Okay. I don't know.
No,
You
hang
know,
out
you
with the
know what
sea
that
cucumber.
is?
What is it, Casey, the tobacco nut? What do you
That
think?
is the same. That is like every blonde has that little tiny fuzzy dog in their purse.
What is he
Only
talking
that's
about?
It's called a landing
mermaid's
strip.
version.
That's a what excursion?
A mermaid's version of a blonde's little fluffy dog in the purse.
I don't know. We might have to ask
I think
Mermaid about that.
Yeah, I think Casey might be
Look at
having
the
a
look on
stroke.
her face. She's like, what?
She's
No.
like, of all the shows that I decided to join in on today.
But she's not blonde though, Casey.
Okay, let's just leave that alone. Jerry the diver
It
guy,
apparently
Casey the
didn't
tobacco
fly.
nut.
Never mind.
They're
It was
gonna
a
say,
theory.
yeah, just quiet
It's a
down.
bad joke.
They,
but
they're
it's
gonna
fine.
they're gonna say inappropriate stuff. I'm trying to do a serious news story here, and you guys are derailing my efforts as much as possible. Vinny Two Janks just kicking back,
Yes.
you know, taking it all in.
Vinny,
I
what would
think
you
it's a-
call this?
I think
fish?
it's a scam. I think it's.
What?
I looked at the site and I saw the object or
Yeah.
whatever. I think it's a scam.
You don't think it's real?
It looked a little
I don't
bit
either.
like raw chicken, right? It looked like plucked chicken.
Yeah, I mean it's you know.
I think Vinny has one on the dresser behind him.
No.
No,
Actually,
no.
where is Harry the pumpkin?
Oh, I forgot to put them out. I got fresh flowers though for you.
Okay. Well, flowers.
Happy Mother's Day, Greg.
Oh, thank you.
You mother.
All right, Mermaid Kristen with us. Maybe she can shed some light on this story, or may want to avoid it at all costs. Kristen, what do you say? What do you think? You think it's real or fake?
It's hard to tell, honestly. I
Yeah.
don't feel like, I mean, it's sort of like the ones that washed up in California where they all look like they're fake, but I don't know. I was looking at it and I was just, my instant thought was like, how is that even a fish?
Yeah, I don't know. You don't even see any fins on it or nothing. It looks
Yeah.
like
A blob.
Looks like a sack of
It looks like a remora.
You know, a remora.
Yeah, or
You-
or a lamprey eel.
You wouldn't
It
want
looks like some
anybody
kind of
sticking
eel.
that to you.
No.
It looks like exactly how they describe it to me.
A lamprey eel. Where do you come up with lamprey eel?
Well, it's based on the fact that there's an autoerotic flashlight that looks like that.
Excuse me?
It's on the dresser behind him if you look.
Okay.
Did he say flashlight?
Yeah, that's why that's why in the article you're reading they call it a fleshlight, but it's just really a flashlight.
All right. I don't even know where this is going, but that's scaring me to death.
I googled it. I thought
You
you guys-
Google? Okay.
I do, and you want none of it.
Right. Well, the bottom line is it looks disgusting, and it probably does belong to the same family as the penis fish that Kristen alluded to. That a couple of years ago, thousands of them washed up on the California coast, and it created quite a scene.
You know what it is? It's an immature sea cucumber.
Okay. All right. See,
You ever pick one of those up and it squirts right
anything,
across?
I'll tell you what, anything that looks like that, I'm not going to pick it up, and God help me if it squirts on me.
Could be a member of the squid family.
You might like it.
I would think it would be a jellyfish kind of thing.
Cuttlefish.
The whole
Snoodlefish.
the whole penis fish thing that was
The
in the news
uncircumcised penis fish.
a couple of years ago. I thought that might be connected to the gooey duck. Have you heard about the gooey duck?
No.
Is that an Asian
That's
dish?
a clam, Greg.
Well, yeah, but it looks kind of the similar thing, and they live in the sand, and they pull them out, and they're big, long. They look kind of disgusting, and have similar features as that fish that washed up on the California
You're
coast.
really going to skirt the edges on this.
Well,
aren't you?
hey, look, I'm just trying to keep everybody informed, so they, I mean, you talk about great fodder on your surface interval. Here it is for you, folks.
Well, I
Right.
thought it looked like that rare elusive scrotopus.
Okay, that's what James seems to think would be a good name for it.
I love it.
So you think it's like a part of the octopus family?
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
jellyfish. I'm thinking jellyfish.
Well,
Kind
scrotomopus is rare.
I just Googled pictures of like a sea cucumber and then
Yeah.
looked at that photo, and I feel like, was it Casey that said it looked like an immature sea cucumber?
Yes.
I think that's more.
Okay,
like
so
what
Kristen.
I think it is.
All right. Well, I'm going to give her opinion
Kristen,
much more
you've
weight.
always been the intelligent one.
Well, I mean, she's bringing in the female perspective, and I'm going to give her opinion much more weight over the rest of the you idiots.
Mystery solved.
Exactly. So I'm going to go with that. I think that's right. But, the thing is, it's out there. And if you saw this when you were scuba diving underwater, what would you do? CJ?
Yeah, just think to myself, that's weird.
Yeah.
And keep going.
You wouldn't
I would
want
laugh and take a picture.
Okay, Kristen would take a picture. It lasts longer that way, yeah. James?
Same thing I do on the subway, Greg. Don't make eye contact.
I didn't see any eyes on this.
Look away.
fish.
Look away.
Or
Look
whatever
away.
it is. Yeah, I don't even know what you're supposed to look at on this thing because I don't know, if there's a top and bottom to this fish or not.
The teabag fish.
The sea cucumber.
Okay. All right. Well, look, we're off to a brilliant start here in the world's first
Sorry
radio.
that didn't go where you wanted it to.
No, it obviously can get better because it couldn't get any worse, right? More coming up. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Bula! You'll hear that a lot when you visit Fiji. It's more than a greeting. It's the spirit of this friendly country. With 333 islands, white sand beaches, and year-round tropical warmth, it's hard not to feel happy at this exceptional dive destination known as the soft coral capital of the world. Fiji Airways has a modern fleet of aircraft to take you to Fiji in style and at great prices. Contact your travel agent now or go to FijiAirways.com and plan your Fijian dive adventure. That's FijiAirways.com.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of ScubaRadio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Hey, baby, what's going down?
Later, nerd.
Are you lacking with the ladies?
Nope.
Enhance your scuba superpowers with a new Scuba Radio hat.
Wow, nice hat.
Just picked it up at ScubaRadio.com.
Buy 2 Scuba Radio hats and get free shipping.
Need a dive buddy, sexy?
Always. And I got a Scuba Radio hat for you, too.
New Scuba Radio hats are now available at ScubaRadio.com.
So cool.
Order yours today, or stay a loser.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
I used to watch you at the Improv when I was starting out. Things you made me laugh so hard because I had just started learning to scuba dive. You did that bit about scuba diving and how the whole point of the sport is not to dive.
There's a fish, there's a rock, who cares? Don't dive.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master, CJ, a Bubble Boy in the studio with me. Vinny Two Tanks, Jerry the Diver Guy, Casey the Tobacco Nut, Mermaid Kristen, connected via the web for the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad. All right, so I think it's time to kind of raise the bar just a little bit. So we brought on Lisa from the History of Diving Museum to talk about other things than unique fish that are shaped in body parts that we really don't want to discuss. Are you with me, Lisa? She's kind of thinking, what the hell did I...
I'm not sure what I missed.
Yeah, trust me.
You're fine. You're fine.
Very
Lisa.
fortunate in that regard.
Where life begins.
Yes.
So So thank you for having me on.
Always.
I'm sorry I missed the earlier conversation, but that's the great thing about your podcast is you can listen to it again.
Yes. And we'll apologize in advance when you do. Okay. But regardless, I want to talk more about the History of Diving Museum and some stuff that is going to be happening here in like 2 weeks. Or not even that,
Oh
really.
my gosh.
It'll be
Not even.
yeah.
This week, next weekend.
A week from Tuesday, May 17th. There's a big event going on in the Keys. And we're going to be down there as part of it with the History of Diving Museum to celebrate the 20-year anniversary of the sinking of the Spiegel Grove. Now, how are you and the History of Diving Museum connected to this event?
Well, for their 15-year anniversary, we hosted a featured exhibit that talked about serving on the Spiegel Grove, what it took to prepare it as an artificial reef to sink it, and then the environmental impacts and the various studies that went on for 5 years after it went down as an artificial reef. And, at last count, there's hundreds of fish that use the Spiegel Grove as a habitat. And what that does is it offers relief to the reef.
Right.
Because so many divers are doing it. Plus, you've got the military connection, and we get so many people that come through and that dive the Spiegel that served on it, or one of their family members served on it. And, you just have a strong military connection to it.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. And I know the event happening that Tuesday night, May 17th. Actually, we have the press release up at ScubaRadio.com under Dive News you can use. So feel free to check it out and get all the specifics. But it's 7 to 9 p.m. on May 17th right there in Key Largo at the, what's the name of the hall that they're doing this in?
It's at the Murray Nelson Government Center. It's free. It's open to the public. They're going to be having a cash bar. They've got we're going to have a pop-up exhibit there with some of the artifacts from the Spiegel Grove. And then we're going to have a panel discussion or with some of the people, again, that have been involved in this project, 20 years ago.
Right. And some of those military folks that may have sailed on the boat before. I mean, you alluded to that element. They're supposed to be there. Captain Slate, obviously.
Obviously, yeah. He's a grandpa now.
That's right. Big news.
The big news. Sky just had her baby.
Yeah, Sky, his daughter had a baby last week. So now Captain Slate is an official grandfather. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So congrats to him. We'll buy him a drink.
Yeah.
New
little tadpole.
Yeah.
Before the anniversary event on the 15th, we're actually installing a commemorative plaque, a thank you plaque from the Spiegel Grove Reunion Group, just as a thank you for the effort of the Key Largo Chamber and all the people were involved in the project. So we're going to put that on the bridge on May 15th. So we still have a few spots. If anybody is in town, I know you're going to be at the
scuba show that Sunday.
The scuba show,
in Long Beach.
Right? But Sunday morning, the 15th, we're orchestrating that installation dive with a lot of different people. So contact the History of Diving Museum and ask for me, and I'll give you more details.
Well, absolutely. And like I said, we got that press release set up at ScubaRadio.com with a lot of the specifics. Is there an exhibit at the History Diving Museum or a little bit of history documented there at the museum about the Spiegel Grove, or what do you have down there?
Not only do we have a core exhibit on all the military branches that have a diving component, but we have all through the month of May a Spiegel Grove exhibit in the library. So it gives you some more information on that as well. And then, of course, May 21st is the kickoff of the Blue Star Museums program, where active duty and up to 5 of their family members get into the museum for free through Labor Day.
Excellent. Divingmuseum.org is the website to go to and find out about the History of Diving Museum. When we come down for this event, I know the Scuba Radio crew is planning to stop over at the museum and possibly record a couple segments right there on site, and obviously take a little tour and get caught up on what they've been up to. And you're okay with that, Lisa? You'll let us in despite the fact that you know us?
Well, you know people with keys. So even if your schedule is really busy and you can't be there between 10 and 5, I'm sure you and I can coordinate something to come in for an evening tour.
Well, we're going to make it happen.
What he's hoping is he gets to come in and see an exhibit with him in it.
Okay. Jerry's been drinking.
Well, where did that come from?
He's begging,
Wow. The Scuba Radio Scuba Squad are heckling themselves. How about that?
I think he was heckling you.
No, Jerry. I mean, did you know Vinny just heckled Jerry?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's a new low.
You know,
They
Echo, I
police
just
they
wonder where
police
it came from.
themselves.
Well, yeah. I mean, our 20-year anniversary, we kind of did a little hose on our listeners for, and said that they had set up an exhibit about scuba radio down there at History Diving Museum. Obviously, they're smarter than that, and they never did such a thing, but that didn't keep us from
We love
claiming.
you, Greg.
Well, thank you. And it was just a big gag, but we had
But
fun.
now, why wouldn't they set up we are setting
Because they know
history
better. I
for
just
the
said
one
that,
and only
Casey.
Show.
Well, all right.
We
Well,
do
to
have
bring people in, not to run them off.
We do have a really neat Voices and Lights exhibit,
Okay. All right.
so
well,
we can put you in part of that communication.
All right. Well, either that or just, a picture above the urinals or something. I don't know. We'll come up with something that's probably more appropriate for this crowd. But regardless, I mean, you guys do great work, and it is a really nice
Thank you.
facility down
Thank
there.
you.
And we've been trying to get down there for some time. So the fact that the planets finally have aligned and we can get down there for the Spiegel Grove event and then do some, diving down there in the Keys, which we haven't been down there for a while. We're going to mix them all together and produce a show on site
Great.
for this event and at the
Yep.
History Diving Museum. Really looking forward to it. Lisa, thanks for the update, and, plan accordingly. Do what you need to do. Leave town, whatever the case may be, or you feel protected when we bring this crew to town, okay?
All right. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. And we got more coming up on the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Stay close.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving, flying, and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving, flying, and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why I wanted to tell you about Nanook Professional Protective Cases. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook cases generally cost less than similar products currently on the market. From an iPhone to a full set of dive gear, whatever you need to shield from the elements, Nanook Professional Protective Cases has the size, shape, and color for you. Go to nanook.com. That's NANUK.com for Nanook Professional Protective Cases. The evolution of protection.
Need an escape from reality for a while? Your favorite scuba action star, Mike Scott, is back in an all-new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys: Reefs Under Pressure. From the brilliant mind of author Eric Douglas comes the thriller that started it all. Listen as Mike unravels the death of a girl, the protest of new development, and the systemic destruction of coral reefs, all against the stunning backdrop of Grand Cayman Island. This one's got it all: submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface. When he was ready and completely relaxed, he wrapped his arms through the straps of the seat cushion and gently slid into the water.
Dive back into adventure with Cayman Cowboys. Also available, Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish. Download all 5 audiobooks now at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, or audible.com.
People, let me tell you about a friend I know. He's got the world's first scuba diving radio show. So now everywhere I am, and everywhere I go, the first thing that I tune to is Scuba Radio.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ and Bubble Boy are in the studio with me. And, CJ's going to head down to the Keys with me, and Jerry the Diver Guy, who's connected via the web, And we're going to do some diving down there in Key Largo.
What trouble can we get into?
Oh, it sounds like we can do. I think we ought to find the testicle fish while
You
we're
better
down there.
keep us busy. I know we got the museum, we got the Spiegel Grove.
You need to ask, what trouble can we not get into?
That is true. What can we keep this crew out of jail?
I heard that the Keys are putting up a non-alcoholic week that week.
That's okay.
That's lies. That where's the Ministry of Truth?
Yeah.
When we need
Where's
it.
Pippi? Where's Peppermint Patty?
Right. Because Casey's just trying to make us feel bad. That's just not the case. But the dive god Neil Watson is threatening to join us too. Neil, how are you, buddy? What's going on?
Doing fantastic, my friend. Doing great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Unfortunately, I can't get down Sunday. Actually, for the dive, I can't get down till Tuesday for the evening event. But I'm sure planning on getting down there for it.
Well, okay. So, and Peter Huge is going to be joining us possibly too.
He's going to try to make it down. He's probably going to ride down with me if he can make it. So that should be fun.
Yeah. And Stephen Frank is going to be on site. There's going to be a lot of diving dignitaries. I mean, Captain Slate, the newly certified grandfather. How about that? Congrats to him.
Very
so,
cool.
I mean, it's going to be quite a crew. It'll well overshadow the shenanigans that the Scuba Radio crew bring to the table for this event in May. So we're going to talk more with the dive god about some unique fish that he's seen over the years and his, a coveted career. Next on the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Here comes old Greg. He's a scaly manfish.
He's Greg the Dive Master.
What you doing in my waters?
The show is a disaster.
I got something to show you.
He's Greg the Dive Master.
Hi there.
Master. Dive Master. Dive Master. Dive Master.
I'm old Greg. Pleased to meet you.
I'm Nart. Hello, fishies.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. And
the show is a disaster.
Right. But I'm not narked.
No.
I have no excuse for the nonsense that we're spewing today, but it's just what we do sometimes. And but we have Neil Watson, the dive god, with us. And Neil, we were talking about a unique type of fish that the a Russian scientist has found. Have you heard about this story this week that broke? The fish that looks like, they call it the testicle fish. So, the golden nugget.
Fish.
Yeah, it looks just like it. It's scary. We don't know if it's a member of the, and I use member literally, of the, the sea cucumber family or, cephalopods or I don't know what it is, but it looks pretty disgusting. So you've never seen anything in all your crazy dives over the years, when you were, down at 437 feet and narked beyond belief, you never saw anything like that. And what have you thought you were hallucinating or?
I saw a freight train at about 410.
A freight train? Really? You saw a freight train? You're not joking, are you?
Yeah, I had to dodge it, man. It's scary down there.
Well, when you're that narked, I guess you would see anything. They say the fish start talking, and I don't know, the octopus start looking like testicles.
Scrotopus.
Okay. Well, we don't know but it's some crazy.
With sea cucumber, I think that's the most
You think it's
plausible.
a sea cucumber, part of the sea cucumber?
That's the thing that makes sense. I mean, unless there's.
No, I did when I was doing the distance swim, into about the 16th or 17th hour, I started hallucinating, and I saw a squid, and I felt my thumb had fallen off. So things happen. Seriously.
Wait. You thought your thumb had fallen off?
I saw a squid and I thought my thumb had fallen off.
Wow.
So
No more hitchhiking for him.
that was an hour or so before they brought me back out of the water.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and that story ends. He gets up on the surface. They strip him down because he has hypothermia practically, and then he's sitting there butt-ass naked in front of his girlfriend at the time. She looks down and she goes, "If that's permanent, I'm out of here." So.
It was scary. Well, I don't want to start any rumors, but she left me.
That's right. Well,
her loss.
It happens. All right. So anyway, Neil, I want to talk a little bit about some other topics that have broke this week in the dive industry, and this is kind of little insider type stuff, but I think it's good for people to kind of know, what goes on inside the industry, even if they're just a diver. And they kind of don't really care as much. But, the DEMA show is always a big event every year. It's the largest diving event of the year. But it's trade only. It's only for people in the dive industry, dive master above, or you have to have a dive shop or work for a manufacturer or an agency and that kind of stuff. It's been going on for years. But it's not open to the public, to the general public, because that's where the industry people get together, talk shop. Dive retailers go there and decide what they're going to put on their store shelves for the coming year and that kind of stuff, and just network and everything. And there's been a lot of issues within the industry about whether or not DEMA should be opened up to the public. And this has been going on. This topic of discussion seems to pop up, what would you say, like every 5 to 10 years?
About every 10 years.
Every 10 years, yeah.
I think I still hold the record for the number of terms anybody served on the board of directors at DEMA, and it was like pretty much clockwork. Every 8 or 10 years, this issue would raise its ugly head, and before.
Yeah, and they would there would be a contingency of people that would demand that, hey, we have to open up the show to consumers. Now, I'll tell you personally, I don't have a problem with that, but you can imagine, people inside the industry, or especially if you own a dive shop, you don't necessarily want, people coming in and seeing, your relationships with the manufacturers directly as you're negotiating what you're going to carry that year and that kind of stuff, or what the profit margins are and all that, all that insider kind of information that any business has to deal with.
That could be done privately, though, couldn't it?
Well,
separate meetings.
Well, it could, I guess, but that's been, but that was why DEMA was created, was to be a resource for, retailers in particular. So, that has been, one of the bones of contentions. But what you're saying, Neil, seems like we have new blood that comes into the industry every 10 years, like on a cycle, and then they start to claim that, oh man, we got to get with the program and open up the show to consumers, and trust me, there is a part of me that I think what you're alluding to, CJ, is that it'd be nice if all the consumers could see all the cool exhibits that they have at the DEMA show, because it is quite a spectacle. And if you're just a diver, it's like being a kid in a candy store going into something like that. But it really is designed to support the dive retailers across the country, around the world for that matter, and give them the resources they need to succeed as a business.
Well, could they add a second show that is consumers?
Well, we're going to the Scuba Show next week. That is for consumers. That is what is going to happen at the Long Beach Convention Center, May 14th and 15th. That's what it's all about. But what I have seen, Neil, and back me up if you agree or disagree, is fine too. But we have people that come into the industry and they just they kind of don't bother to do their homework or look at what we've done in the past and claim like, oh my gosh, if DEMA doesn't open it up to consumers, they're idiots and they don't know what they're doing and blah 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 blah, and like they don't realize this. We've done this like 3 or 4 times just in the last 25 years of doing Scuba Radio. I've seen them do surveys about this, and every single time they come back from the membership saying overwhelmingly, do not open it up to the public. Is that what you see or what?
Well, to start with, it's the only event in the world that brings all 5 of the stakeholder groups together in one place at one time.
Mm-hmm.
It's an incredible networking opportunity. It's where you do business with the magazines, with the manufacturers, with the trading agencies, with the travel destinations, and what consumer is going to take the trouble to fly to wherever Diva is at to walk around and look at stuff? Because what people don't realize, you can't buy anything at Diva.
Right.
You can't. It's not like the show next week in Long Beach, where you can go in and you can book travel and you can buy trips and you can take home T-shirts and dive gear stuff. You can't do that at Diva. There's no selling in at the show.
Mm-hmm.
So what in the world is the purpose of going there and looking around if you can't purchase anything?
True. Well, but my point is that, you know, people getting into the industry, no matter what part of the stakeholder group they may be a part of, whether it's manufacturing or media or whatever. Yeah. We've had a tendency of people to come into the industry and they've been in the industry for 6 months and then start mouthing off online saying, oh, they got to open up. They got to get with the times. They don't know what they're doing. And they don't realize that this whole issue of opening up the DEMA show to consumers has been addressed like at least 3 times that I'm aware of, probably longer, probably more than that. Do you happen to know offhand or what? I mean, it's like, you know, it's like do your homework and you would know this already.
I do know that Diva tried to put on a consumer show,
right,
for consumers in Fort Lauderdale at the convention center.
Yeah,
and the retailers shot it down. They didn't want a part of it. So here again, the whole purpose of the Diva show is for the 4 stakeholder groups to sell to retailers.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing is to sell to the dive shop, the hands-on guy,
right?
And they overwhelmingly, 80% says we do not want consumers at the show. So basically, end of story. I mean, if the people, if you're having a party for somebody and they say we're not coming, if you invite so and so, well, you don't invite so and so.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, yeah, you just got to do your homework, I think. I mean, we just saw a lot of this, and it created this whole thing popping up again, and once again, it was shot down. So it will not be opening to consumers anytime soon. There you go. More coming up.
Would you like to talk diving? Greg the Dive Master's all toweled down and ready to take your call now. Call Scuba Radio at 1-888-88-SCUBA.
It's better in the Bahamas. Want proof? Book Grand Bahama Dive Week, May 22nd to the 28th. Caradonna Dive Adventures is your connection for this 6-night all-inclusive stay at Viva Wyndham Fortuna, including unlimited beverages, alcohol, cocktails, and wine. You'll get superior garden view accommodations, a 1-day 2-tank Tiger Shark dive, and 3 days of 2-tank boat dives with Reef Oasis Dive Bahamas. Call Caradonna Dive Adventures to book your Bahamas Dive Week, May 22nd to 28th now at 1-800-328-2288 or go to caradonna.com.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater. Dive computers for demanding divers.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo with a buddy or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board aboard with you or not. I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Hi, this is Neil Watson, the Dive God.
And I'm Peter Hughes.
These guys come from legend. They're basically gods.
We've been around the block a time or two with the diving industry.
But I've never heard something as nutty as this.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
God's friggin' gift to humanity.
Now here's a guy I've been putting up with for over 20 years.
Greg, the Dive Master.
You can tell the master I'm done for the day.
Now beat it, loser.
And by the way, Greg, it's Peter Huge.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I got it. I think I understand. Yeah, Peter is going to join us along with the Dive God. Both of them are going to come down for this event in the Keys on May 17th. Once again, the details, for the event, 7 to 9 p.m. on May 17th, that evening there in Key Largo. All the details right there at ScubaRadio.com. The press release is posted under Dive News You Can Use. So if you can make it, come on out. It'll be a good time. First hour, I believe, is supposed to be like an open, cash bar kind of thing, and everyone will mix and mingle. And then at 8 o'clock, I think they're doing like a panel discussion with a lot of the original people that were there for the sinking of the Spiegel Grove, Stephen Frink, a whole bunch of diving dignitaries. It's going to be cool.
Now, is this, should I bring some nicer clothes?
Yes.
Okay.
And leave them in your hotel room. Because it's the Keys. It's casual, man.
Okay.
It's the islands.
Well, I got some.
Yeah, the Keys got an island vibe there, CJ. You can wear whatever you want. Flip-flops.
I didn't know if it was like a nicer
Hawaiian shirt. The Keys are like going to the islands without having to go on a boat, It feels that way when you go down to the Florida Keys.
I love it down there.
It really is. It definitely has an island vibe. And technically it's an island, but you drive to it. You don't have to get it on a boat, which makes it much more convenient.
Yeah.
And then
It's
we'll
a great
do some
place to
diving.
get drunk, Greg.
Oh, really?
Yes, I've been getting drunk there since 1976.
Okay. Okay. So you could do that too. And there could be a
You
little
were
bit
8
of
years old?
7. I was 7. No, I was 8. You're right.
there could be a little of that going on.
Rum runners.
Yeah. It's but the Keys are an awesome place. We're going to be staying down there at the Islander Resort, by the way, which was the backdrop for the TV show Bloodline.
So cool.
On Netflix. Really cool, Keysy kind of classic hotel and property. And I love staying at that place. So, and like I said, we're going to do an entire episode of Scuba Radio down there while we're there covering the event and being a part of it and that kind of thing. Doing some scuba diving.
Are we going to dive the Spiegel Grove?
I think that would be,
That'd be the thing to do, right? If we can jump on a boat.
Required, I think, is what it'll
mandatory.
If you're going down there, are you kidding me? You might as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that is the plan. We're going to go dive with Grandpa Slate.
I wouldn't call him that.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
a big guy.
Yeah, but he's a grandpa now. Sky had her.
Not unless you're, don't want to eat solid food for a while.
Well, I'll let Jerry act as my human shield.
No, I like Slade.
Jerry will
I might
protect you.
punch you too.
Yeah, you sons of
Shuck your head
son of a
like a
bitch.
oyster.
It's a compliment. He's grandpa. I mean, that's he's a grandpa now.
Maybe he wants to be called something different.
Well, we'll ask him.
Like Paw.
Yeah. Yeah. Knowing him, he'll come up with some name for himself that we probably can't repeat on air. But yeah, it'll be a good time catching up with friends. And then before that, of course, I'm going to be at the Scuba Show in Long Beach next week. So I'm very, very excited about that. ScubaShow.com is the website to go to and get all the details for this event. which will be the first consumer dive event in like over 2 years, if not 3. And as we said last week, Mark Young, the man behind the madness of that event, has said that ticket sales are through the roof. That the demand has been crazy. I think the show, exhibitor-wise, if it's not sold out, it's like 1 or 2 booths away from it. It probably is sold out at this point, but I don't want to say, officially. But it's going to be a big, big event, and that the crowd for the scuba show.
That is a fun show. I've only went the one time with you in 2017. It is awesome.
Yeah, it's always a great time, and you get people that have that common bond of diving, and they want to look at all the cool places to go and all the gear and everything, and they got so much stuff to give away. I mean, we're giving away a Peregrine dive computer from Shearwater. We're giving away an Explorer Ventures liverboard boat. Last week we mentioned we got 2, not 1, but 2 round trip tickets to fly to Fiji on Fiji Airways
On a Makavisai.
to give away at the scuba show. Now, for those prizes, those 3 that I just mentioned, you got to get to the show before the show opens at 10 a.m. because we'll be set up out front, warming up the crowd before they're allowed into the event at 10 a.m. Pacific time there. So get there early. I mean, it's weird because of all the stuff that they do with the giveaways and everything. I've never seen a crowd so fired up and so dedicated than what we've experienced at the scuba show in Long Beach at the Long Beach Convention Center, because they literally start lining up at the entrance like it's 7 a.m. for a 10 a.m. show.
That's true.
It's crazy.
And, they also have the hourly giveaways when you get in the show.
Right. Well, that's why they're doing it, because
opportunity.
Yeah. If you get there early, you have more shots to get at the free stuff, because
Vinny's going, isn't he?
That's right. Vinny's working the show.
I'm working, buddy.
Vinny's working.
Yeah, I mean, Vinny's going to be probably he might be one of the mermaids. I don't know.
No, please God.
I'm a contractor for Brownie's Marine Group.
Yeah, he's a contractor for Brownie's Marine Group. That's even better than being a mermaid. Rachel is with us. She's going to be there at the scuba show. This will be your first time, I believe, too, right, Rachel? Is that true?
Yes, that's correct. This will be my first time, so I'm excited to be out there in mermaid form to help hype up the crew and
that's right.
help give away some cool prizes.
Yeah, absolutely. In mermaid form. That's a good form to be in, I think. And she's way better looking than Vinny any day of the week. Just for the
Vinny.
record. Yeah. So, look, we're going to talk more about those events and a whole bunch more coming up in hour 2 of the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Stay close.
On the boat and down below, if you want to stay in the know. If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio. Let's go!
Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio.
This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.
Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling the radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life.
under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome to Hour 2 of the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ and Bubble Boy in the studio with me, connected via the web. Vinny Two Tanks, Jerry the Diver Guy, Casey the Tobacco Nut, Mermaid Kristen too. I think we lost Rachel. She went back to swim with the fishes, and or the squad scared her away. I don't know. What is it, Jerry? What happened? Do you know? You have no.
What? With what?
Did you scare Rachel away or what? What happened?
Yeah, she ran like hell. She seen you and started getting nauseated.
No, she had to go back to work.
Looked up and
Had to go. Okay, she was working.
Casey and Benny and ran.
She had to go. What mermaids do? What do they do for work?
She's a pharmacist.
She's a peel hopper.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's what she does in her land loving duties. She's a pharmacist, right?
A pharmacist.
Yes. So she had to get back to work. Don't blame her.
She's got a real job.
I'm surprised she even joined us today. And Kristen needs to address this as a mermaid today. And by the way, you look great today. I love the fact you're wearing a Scuba Radio shirt. She's representing, as you can plainly see on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
Hey, I've got my Scuba Radio mug here.
Nobody cares. Nobody
cares.
cares.
You look nothing like Kristen, Casey.
I do need a shirt.
I have never competed with Kristen.
Yeah. Wait, say that again, Kristen. What were you gonna say?
I said I do need a shirt that actually fits me though, because this is a shirt I got at Dima, and it's like a men's large or extra large.
Right.
Greg never has good sizes.
Yeah, I really don't have a lot. Actually, we
I
do
don't even have one.
Well, you don't need one.
Yeah,
Nobody
do.
wants to see you.
No, I want to have a Scuba Radio shirt.
Oh, well, okay. We'll try to be squared away.
Get some Scuba Radio lederhosen.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Actually, we do have.
Those with their hairdo.
We have some Scuba Radio attire for ladies. And, and it's actually up there at ScubaRadio.com. But
I think CJ would look good in it, ladies' attire.
All right.
You would.
That's
Jerry,
weird.
Yeah, Jerry. That's your inside voice.
It shows his masculinity.
You're supposed to keep that to yourself, Jerry. You're not supposed to let that voice outside.
I'm sorry.
All right. So anyway, Kristen, there's a story of about some mermaids down in South Florida at the Rec Bar. You know about them, right? The fire-breathing mermaid, Marina. I think, is that her name, Marina? I'm not sure. I keep messing it up every time. She is a great gal. She's she was a former pilot, by the way. She has quite the background. But they have their own little pod of mermaids. They put on this mermaid show at a place called the Rec Bar at the hotel there in Fort Lauderdale. It used to be the Sheraton. I don't know what it's called now.
It's a cool show.
It's a really cool show. They do they have a kid show. They have a straightforward mermaid show. Then on the weekends, late night, they have a mermaid burlesque show where they get a little. Okay. And they do that and get a little, I don't know, a little sexy. But it's all tongue in cheek. It's what? Say that, Kristen. What?
They get a little bit more all natural, like
naughty.
mermaid.
Yes. They're not naked.
Classic mermaid look.
Yes. It's retro. It's like when mermaids were popular back in the 40s, I believe. It's a real throwback type of show. So
Didn't they used to be topless during the show?
No. That's wishful thinking on your part, Vinny. I don't think they are.
Actually, I went to some show somewhere where they were swimming in a tank and they were topless.
Well, they weren't topless. They wear tassels and stuff. They are covered up, but it's the illusion of being naked, I think. But I don't know. Maybe they made it worse. But regardless, there's been a story that got out on the mainstream media this week about some guy was harassing the mermaids, who worked for the police department down there.
I saw that.
And he had used the the database that the police have access to, like the sheriff's database or whatever, and looked up information on some fellow mermaids at the wreck bar, and it was not appropriate.
Definitely an ethics violation.
And I thought, whoa, this is a classic Mervert story.
Wasn't he actually an ex-sheriff or something like that? That's how he had access?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was like a Mervert story. I thought it was more like he was mad because his wife got fired from the show.
Well, that's what I thought at first. It was a Mervert story, but then, you read more into the story. It's he was upset because his wife was, fired from the Mermaid show down there at the rec bar. And evidently this has been going on for like 3 years, and they have been harassing the people that are still working, Marina and her crew, I guess, a few of them, and doing inappropriate things to make them, creating an unsafe environment, it sounds like to me, at the bare minimum. Yeah, they like I said, looking up their, records and stuff.
Maybe he has an obsession.
Well, I would think so. Yeah, I mean that at the bare minimum. What he does with that information, I don't know. But he was. I thought I saw something like they moved in next door to one of them too.
They did. That's what it said.
Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
The bad thing.
She was violating their privacy with having her outdoor security camera.
Yeah.
Even though they were violating her privacy by looking up her information about herself, and I think this said something about her boyfriend, though it took his information too.
Right. It's just nuts. I mean,
it's insane.
It's definitely it's right up there with like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard type stuff, salacious craziness.
But this has been going on for like 2016 too, and from what I've read, the cops won't do nothing about it because I guess he's a cop.
Well, I don't know. We're gonna have to see, but I mean, being a mermaid for many years, as you have, Kristen, have you had any Mervert encounters? Nothing that crazy, have you?
Aside from Barry.
Yeah.
Well, she deals with Barry all the time.
At the beginning of March, I had a weird thing happen.
Wait, what? Where happened? Where did this happen?
At the beginning of March, I had a weird thing happen where some random dude from the DC dive show that took a picture with me, posted it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Claiming that I told him I was someone else that worked at a shop, and that I was talking to him all about how my relationship was bad or ended, and how I was really into older guys and things like that.
What?
And it caused a big problem because the guy who posted it was friends with my boyfriend's boss.
Ouch.
And so when Lucas saw that, he obviously upset.
Well, sure, your boyfriend's going to be a little annoyed by such shenanigans,
and it made me really upset too, because I tried to message the guy and talk to him about it, and he wouldn't message me back. But then he was messaging my boyfriend's boss about it, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm going on a date with her on Saturday night, and I'll send you a picture to prove it," and blah blah blah. And I was like, dude, this guy, he posted this photo, and he said 4 years ago at the DC dive show, and I was like, first of all, I've been to the DC dive show twice, and there was 2019 and 2020.
Yeah.
So
I was with you at one of them.
Yeah, it was the one.
You weren't the guy though, right, Jerry? Okay, just checking.
I'm innocent.
Well, that doesn't help her credibility, Jerry.
Well, it was at the 2020 DC dive show though, the one that you were at, and he was he just made all these claims saying that I told him that my name was someone else, that I was a dive master, that I did all these things, and I was like, I wouldn't. First off, why would I tell someone in the scuba world that my name is different than what it is, and that my certifications are different than what they are, when literally everybody in the dive world that was there knows who I am.
Right.
They know my real name.
Crazy.
But wasn't there another girl there doing the mermaid?
No, I was on the mermaid there.
Well, I want. It sounds like the guy is either he's nuts or he got you mixed up with some other mermaid from days gone by or something.
I think it was a combination of both, because I think deep down he really thought that I was this person.
Mm-hmm.
But he was saying that I don't know. It just caused a big issue, and it kind of made me I was reading the comments people were writing on the photo saying oh, look out, girls like that aren't good, things like that. And I was like, so it's just making me look bad. And
you were annoyed. They don't know what the heck they're talking about. Yeah.
About it.
Of course.
You should have reached out to the other girl.
Reach out to her, and she'll probably smack you upside the head is my guess. But I'll tell you what, our mermaids are upstanding divers and citizens, and you need to respect them. Respect the mermaid. It's diver protocol. More coming up. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
It's better in the Bahamas. Want proof? Book Grand Bahama Dive Week, May 22nd to the 28th. Caradonna Dive Adventures is your connection for this 6-night all-inclusive stay at Viva Wyndham Fortuna, including unlimited beverages, alcohol, cocktails, and wine. You'll get superior garden view accommodations, a 1-day 2-tank Tiger Shark dive, and 3 days of 2-tank boat dives with Reef Oasis Dive Bahamas. Call Caradonna Dive Adventures to book your Bahamas Dive Week, May 22nd to 28th now at 1-800-328-2288 or go to caradonna.com.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer, and Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Taric is the best, most intuitive, and reliable wristwatch-sized dive computer on the market. Check it out in the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
A professional mermaid says unwanted advances from merverts is the worst part of the job. Just like that, you've been made aware of a new profession and its very serious problems and the word mervert.
Hey now. Get my flippers on and go scuba diving. Hey now. Watch me get my goggles on and go scuba diving. Hey now. Scuba diving. Hey now. Watch me scuba diving. Hey now. East Coast. Watch me scuba diving. Hey now. West Coast. Watch me scuba diving. Hey now.
Yeah, we're going to be out in the West Coast next week for the Scuba Show. ScubaShow.com. Get your tickets. Join us. Be there early. It's going to be a blast. Keep the mervert comments at bay. We're going to have Mermaid Rachel out there, and I don't know, some scuba queens. Rachel and her friends from the scuba pageant. They're going to be on display with us, I believe, with the mermaids. And
wasn't that girl from the aquarium? Wasn't that?
Yeah, Rachel.
Aquarium?
Yeah. She's the scuba queen, Miss Scuba Queen USA. Yeah, she'll be on there. Who knows? She might be in more mermaid form too. But I'm just I don't need to remind our crew. We've never really had any problems, at the shows with our mermaids. The divers respect them. We use them as ambassadors to entice people into the sea. That's how you should use your mermaids, and respect them, right, Kristen?
One thing I like when I go to the shows and events with you guys is that someone always stands with me. Like, I'm never just left alone.
That's right. We have Scuba Radio mermaid wranglers.
Doesn't that apply everywhere you go? You're never alone?
That's true. I mean, I usually, I don't go to events by myself. Like, I always have someone come with me just because of situations like that. And even there, I wasn't alone there, but it was just some guy casually taking a photo with me that just decided to do something
crazy.
It's more comfortable because most of us, we all know who you are, so you're in a very safe environment.
And she likes the guys that snatch her up and carry her from place to place.
All right, that's not appropriate, Casey. What the hell's
she
wrong
can't
with
walk
you?
because she's got the flipper on. That makes
She gets
sense.
carried everywhere she goes. She never has to hop anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can't walk.
The mermaid specialty course that we have, Mermaid Wrangler.
Wrangling,
Yes,
right?
Mermaid Wrangling. Yes, they are
That's
also
a special
bodyguards.
certification.
It is.
CJ certified, I understand.
It's not an easy job. It's actually a terrible job.
It is.
It's a very terrible job.
In all our years, I've never wanted
my
to be
back.
a wrangler myself because I was like, that's just trouble. And plus, you got to lift them. I mean, that's
You have
like,
to
I'll be able to
body
lift at
weight
least
plus
75
tail
pounds.
weight.
yes, yeah, it's a manual labor. I'm not
There
into
is
it.
the
It's 100
occasional
pounds,
wardrobe
they're soaking
malfunction.
wet.
Yeah, but we never have any shortage of potential wranglers. We have
Volunteers.
they have to be screened a little better.
It's getting them up on your shoulders so the tail clears the ground is the problem.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's a whole technique, but it's up to the mermaid to kind of set the, set the bar, and they have the final say of who they will allow to be their wrangler. So you got to just keep it in check and stuff. But yeah, I mean, we've never really had any problems at the dive show. So it's unfortunate when you hear these type of stories because, like I said, I like using the mermaids as ambassadors because it works on so many levels when you're at a dive show. God knows they don't want to see any member of the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad or myself. We have faces for radio. I'm the first one to admit it, and you're welcome, Casey. But the thing is, we know this, and that's why we bring the mermaids out there to be the face, if you will, of Scuba Radio and put out a positive representation in that regard. That the kids love it. They come up and they ask Kristen if she knows Mermaid Ariel or something, and the little boys are like looking up at her like, "Wow, I really like you. I don't know why, but I really like you."
Wow, look at those seashells.
And then the ladies, they're like, there's this princess syndrome type of thing going on. Like, it's mermaids are kind of right up there with princess. You'll back me up on that, right, Rachel? I mean, Kristen. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. Yes, I would have been smacked right there by her
Good job, Greg.
Our leader can't remember who they are.
Greg had long.
Whatever you say, Jerry. Anyway, so
that wasn't me.
yeah. Anyway,
leave me out of that one.
The mind is the first thing to go.
Start.
Yeah, but the guys don't mind it either. But they're the ones who probably have to keep in check sometimes, just make sure they don't say anything inappropriate. But just they're divers. They're not models. They're mermaids.
Don't look at me when you say that. I've never.
What? No, I'm not accusing you of anything.
You looked right at me and you said inappropriate. So
well, I do that all the time. That has nothing to do with. Anyway, but it's going to be a good time. It's going to be. By the way, Kristen, are you coming down to the Keys? I guess we need to discuss this. Can't do it. Ain't going to happen this time.
I wasn't able to move my spine appointment, so I still have all those doctor's appointments from my accident.
Yeah. See, mermaids need spines, evidently, and they have to.
Yeah, I have to get more injections into my spine to help. So I can move it, and it sucks.
Well, there'll be other events. We got a big plan, a big schedule for this year as we celebrate 25 years.
Anyways, so
you wouldn't have been able to what?
I wouldn't have been able to dive with you guys anyways because not as much, I don't think, because I would have to leave. I have to be back in Virginia on like Thursday.
Yeah.
So
understood. Well, like I said, we got a bunch of events happening.
You can be one of the losers that has to suck it.
Yeah. Well, okay. That does go with the territory, Kristen. I hate to tell you.
Sorry.
But, if you're not able to join us on these adventures that we're talking about on the show all the time, part of the benefit of being able to do these things is that we got to tell all our friends, suck it, loser. So, and I say that with love, okay? But
I know.
Yeah, you can suck it.
She's a good sport.
Yeah,
I'm glad she's smiling.
As they have to be. Yeah, anybody, that is part of our crew.
Put up with our crew.
Yeah, exactly. They know the routine. They know the protocol. And but anyway, it's going to be a good time. And we do have some other events coming up after the Keys trip. As a matter of fact, I'll be solidifying some of our travel plans for the rest of the year at the Scuba Show in Long Beach next week. So just to give you an idea,
Fancy.
Fiji might be on the agenda.
Oh, dude.
Bonaire might be on the agenda.
Dude.
I have nothing else on
Bermuda.
my calendar for the rest of the year, so yeah, I'll be available.
Okay, all right. She's throwing her fin in the circle there for that one. But yeah, Bermuda. I've never been there. We've talked to them. Bonaire and
That's a new one. I didn't know about that.
yeah, and what am I forgetting? There's another one. Oh,
Wait a
golly.
minute. That's where
Oh, the
people
Bahamas.
disappear.
A lot of wreck dives in Bermuda.
Yeah, there could be. There could be. We'll probably go to the Bermuda Triangle.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's it's
Well,
kind
actually,
of the Bahamas.
if you go to the Bahamas, you're in part of the Bermuda
Right, that's what I'm
Triangle.
saying. We're
Gentlemen's
going to
Club
the
in Southwest
Bahamas,
Miami.
and we'll probably be in the Bermuda Triangle. But we may go to
Every
the
time
island.
we go to Bimini, we're in the Bahama Triangle.
All right, Scuba Radio Happy Hour is well established by now, and we apologized in advance. We're good.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Scuba action star Mike Scott is back in a new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys, Reefs Under Pressure. From author Eric Douglas comes the one that started it all. Listen as Mike deals with submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface.
Download Cayman Cowboys or Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, and audible.com.
Do you have a message or a product that you'd like to share with the diving world? Well, look no further than Scuba Radio. Just like you, thousands of diving enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to ScubaRadio.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Let me tell you about a friend I know. He's got the world's first scuba diving radio show. So now everywhere I am, and everywhere I go, the first thing that I tune to is Scuba Radio.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. That is the Scuba Cowboy. I don't know. I think he might be out at the Scuba Show next weekend playing.
Isn't he normally like Florida or East Coast based?
Yeah, but I know he was planning to do a tour out on the West Coast the same time around of the Scuba Show. And we'll see.
Now, would this be him solo or with Sweet Baby Spinach?
Good point. I don't know. I haven't talked to him. I tried to call him earlier in the week. I did
she
not
call
connect.
herself? Like Mama
But
Love?
Bubble Boy, is he destroying equipment? What the heck happened
Your
over there?
studio is falling apart, Greg. It's,
the mic fell off the arm.
Fell off. I
He
didn't do
broke
anything.
The shock
He
mount
broke it.
fell off the arm.
Yeah.
Can't see so good.
That is code for what exactly?
The shock mount fell off the arm, the
No.
boom arm.
That's
Just jam it up in there.
yeah. That's what she
Stay up.
said.
It doesn't stay in there.
Anyway,
Frank said.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Okay. Yeah. That is weird. You broke it.
It fell on me when I moved it earlier too.
So you broke it?
No, it fell right out.
No, it was booby trap.
You need
I'd set up a trap for you two.
Decent boom
We got
arm.
another
That'll
Chris Farley,
teach us.
another Chris Farley. What did you do?
No, these boom arms suck. They've got the springs on the outside, so they get loud after a while. You need the internal ones.
No.
Don't shake it.
You are incorrect.
Don't
No,
shake the
correct.
assembly.
I know the good stuff.
That
Don't
is
touch
what.
it. Don't touch
That
it.
that
you
is
need the
what.
triad orbit system like I have.
No. That costs money.
I know.
We have no.
You
We have
invest in
none of
yourself.
that. We have none of that.
Neither did I, but I made it work.
Huh. Well, okay. Well, we're gonna go diving. Just focus on that,
Dude, I'm ready. I'm excited. Was it a week from Monday?
Correct.
All right.
Actually, a week from Monday, my birthday. I get to fly in an airplane on my birthday. Well,
I think once you're past, if you're a male and you're past like 10, I don't know if you really get excited about.
Well,
your
where's
birthday
my free
anymore.
ice cream?
See, what a God.
What?
You're such a child.
No, it's my birthday.
Ice cream.
Yeah. That's what you get on your birthday. That's what you're supposed to get is free ice cream. Come on. It's the law.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Remember, you're swimming right now. Enjoy it. Don't grab for the water, man. Relax and just float. This is awesome.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ and Bubble Boy are in the studio, or as I like to say, the Lump Sucker and Bubble Boy. That may be your new name, CJ.
You're calling me names?
A lump sucker. It's a kind of fish. It's actually a compliment because you're a diver. You like to go see fish. And there's a fish at the Shedd Aquarium in Chicago called the lump sucker.
Right.
And instead of scales on this fish, it is covered with teeth. Teeth it has all over it.
I didn't come here to get verbally abused.
No, you're a lump sucker. That should be that is a
How does
compliment.
that sound like a good thing?
I mean, it can barely swim. It's covered with teeth, and it's called the lump sucker.
I can swim.
Well, you barely.
It's not covered with teeth.
Yeah, it is. It's covered with teeth. Instead of scales, they're like, calcium, spiked things all around the little fish. It's one of the ugliest fish I've ever seen, I will say, from the picture. So
Uglier than the testicle fish?
Yeah.
Oh, good point. That'd be tough. That'd be tough. I mean, what would you rather be?
Probably the lump sucker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I rest my case.
Bollocks!
So yeah, the lump sucker fish or the testicle fish, your choice, lump sucker.
Gypsy.
So that means Jerry is the testicle fish.
Nope.
Okay. So
You just want me to be because you love me.
what did I tell him
Is that
about
it,
the
Greg?
inside voice?
Did he nail it?
Yeah, inside voice. Jerry, inside
Can
voice.
you feel the
Anyway, yeah, that is one ugly fish.
I looked it up, and the first thing that popped up was a Fox News article that says demonic fish glows red or demonic fish with spikes of armor glows red in terrifying photo. And apparently, if you put a fluorescent light under it, it glows red.
Really?
Or over.
Oh, the lump sucker.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's badass. Now I can see why you would call
Yeah,
it that.
you should get a lump sucker tattoo.
I should. Maybe I will.
Yeah,
On
he
your
was going to get a
scrotum.
hammerhead put on his arm on our cruise that we did a few weeks ago.
He just wants to be like me.
When you get the neon version of the lump sucker, it does look pretty intimidating. I mean, I don't know.
That looks more like some sort of gang.
No, you know what?
Yeah.
Somebody be like, "What is that? A chicken nugget?"
It's a lump sucker.
Yeah, I got a tattoo of a chicken nugget.
No, but then when you say lump sucker, then
It's a lump sucker.
They'll keel over laughing.
Yeah, that's what I want.
But no, actually, the neon. It looks like it's the one of those night dive lights that does the ultra. What is it? The ultravision? No, the black light
Ultraviolet.
diving. Yeah, ultraviolet. There you go. And you take
Isn't
the
that usually
ultraviolet
blue
lights.
or purple?
Well, yeah, but it makes the scales and the critters on a night dive light up a different color, very fluorescent. Like going on the Avatar ride at Disney.
I never went on that.
Yeah, but it's cool. It is
Sounds
cool.
not cool.
Yeah. Cool. Got it. And so the lump sucker is something to look out for. And I think I would be pretty happy to see a lump sucker, actually. But the testicle fish, I don't know. I don't know if I would.
Where does the lump sucker hang out?
Well, in the Shed Aquarium. That's the only one that I'm aware of.
On the Pacific.
Is it in the Pacific where they got all the crazy critters? Yeah. I mean, it's amazing what you see underwater as a diver. And some of this stuff looks way crazier than you could even imagine.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see a Jerry the Diver guy.
Oof, don't get me started. It's more like
and more than likely he's trying to catch lobsters.
Yeah, trying is the key word there.
I beat you all last time.
Oh, slap.
Okay, Will Smith, you just stop it. But look, there are other things that you can do with whether you send people out to find the lump sucker or the testicle fish, but you can turn it into therapy. And they've just done this in Jupiter. They ought to take this out to California. I mean, because they're having some issues out there in California. Last time I was threatened with murder when I went out to the West Coast.
Well, you just have a murderable face.
Well, maybe. But
people look at you and they go, God, I just love to
the
murder
guy's
that
going
guy.
to be waiting on you this time, Greg.
Well, okay. That's just part of the California adventure these days.
Like to be mutilated?
But they have a program in Florida where they've taken, it's kind of like a scared straight type of program.
Greg, I would wear some body armor under your shirt.
No,
get some Kevlar.
I would cover myself in teeth. Greg the lump sucker.
Okay.
But no, I don't think that'll be necessary. I think it'll be fine. But they got a program in Florida where they're calling it, well, let's see, it's kind of an odd name. I didn't quite get it because it's more than diving. But the group is of formerly incarcerated folks that end up diving with sharks. And
it's called chumming the water.
Well, gangsters to growers. That's the thing. So I don't know. I'm not sure of the grower part of it. I mean, maybe the shark dive is like the culmination of everything, but maybe they teach them or take them to, do, grow plants and orange trees or something. I don't know what the heck it is. Yeah.
Marijuana plant.
But at the end of their program, they throw them in the water or get them certified and take them diving with sharks in Jupiter, Florida. And it's supposed to, I don't know if it's a program to help rehabilitate folks, I guess.
Do you say take them diving with sharks or diving for sharks' teeth?
Diving with sharks.
Ah.
So in Jupiter, depending on the time of year, it might be the schooling
lemon sharks.
Yeah, the schooling lemon sharks.
Very sharky out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be.
I haven't been yet.
Yeah. But they take these gangsters, these kids or folks that have gotten in trouble with the law, and is that a way to rehabilitate them? I don't know. I'm not sure I see the connection. But
they either get rehabilitated or eaten.
Well, yeah, I guess if you play that card on them, like, look, if you don't clean up your act here, these sharks are going to know it. They sense fear. And they will eat you unless
they sense crims.
Sense what?
Crims.
I don't know what that means.
Criminals. They sense criminals.
Oh, crims, right? Yeah, Vinny Two Tanks. He's kind of
shorten the word criminal to crims.
Yeah, he's
as
down.
One does.
He's down with the Crips and Bloods and.
No, I said crims.
No, I know. I
made up a word that doesn't exist.
No, he's talking gangster.
In some English-speaking countries in the world, like Australia, they call them crims.
Oh,
that's
really?
where I got it from.
That'll teach us.
Okay.
But it's okay because we're broadcasting over the radio your association with known gang members. So.
Okay. All right. Well, he's in California. He's allowed to. That's just what they do.
Somebody's got to graffiti the bridges.
That's right. So, it's all good. But I just don't know. I've never heard of a shark dive being therapy in that regard. You know, we've heard of swim with dolphin programs being stuff for, you know, people that are trying to rehabilitate. That might be good therapy for Mermaid Kristen, actually. You know, she's having a back problem. Maybe she needs to go jump in the water with a bunch of dolphins and let them.
I'd rather be in the water with sharks.
Really? You're more sharky. But you know, the dolphins have this kind of mental magic thing going on with folks that have, you know, physical challenges, and they can sense when someone's having
sonar.
an issue. Yeah, something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. So you get in
Good
there with a dolphin, and you know, maybe it'll fix you.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. But you would rather dive with sharks anyway. You just like sharks? Is that it?
Yeah, I'd rather go like diving to see sharks than diving to see dolphins. But swimming with dolphins might be cool.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. Greg's done it.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Hundreds of dolphins.
Hundreds, yeah. Thanks to Vinny Two Tanks.
We weren't in the water though. We were on a boat.
Right.
But still pretty awesome to be in the middle of that group.
Yeah. Yeah, we were on a boat with some crems, and we had a good old time. It was amazing.
And clovers.
Okay. All right, Joan Jett. Anyway, yeah, we can. I just tell you. So you guys don't like this program with the gangsters to growers? I don't, like I said, I don't get the growers. I mean,
Well,
maybe
look,
it's like, hey, you can grow your own weed. You don't have to sell it, or I don't know what the grower part is, but it's what the program's called.
Well, it's a win-win situation.
I can explain it to you.
So
Maybe it's about like putting them into a dangerous situation to kind of make them realize they need to not be foolish anymore.
Yeah.
No, that's not it.
Okay, Jerry knows. Go ahead.
It's a win-win situation. They either change their ways or they get ate. So
Okay. They get eaten. Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
8.
The-
He said
8.
they get 8.
Jerry, the diver guy, has spoken. There you go. More coming up.
Scuba Radio.
Would you like to talk diving? Greg the Dive Master's all toweled down and ready to take your call now. Call Scuba Radio at 1-888-88-SCUBA.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater. Dive computers for demanding divers.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving, flying, and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving, flying, and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why I wanted to tell you about Nanook Professional Protective Cases. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook cases generally cost less than similar products currently on the market. From an iPhone to a full set of dive gear, whatever you need to shield from the elements, Nanook Professional Protective Cases has the size, shape, and color for you. Go to nanook.com. That's NANUK.com for Nanook Professional Protective Cases. The evolution of protection.
Hey, baby, what's going down?
Later, nerd.
Are you lacking with the ladies?
Nope.
Enhance your scuba superpowers with a new ScubaRadio hat.
Wow, nice hat.
Just picked it up at ScubaRadio.com.
Buy 2 ScubaRadio hats and get free shipping.
Need a dive buddy, sexy?
Always. And I got a Scuba Radio hat for you, too.
New ScubaRadio hats are now available at ScubaRadio.com. So cool. Order yours today. Or stay a loser.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master, CJ and Bubble Boy.
Shut
are
up,
in the
we're on.
studio. And what did we decide to call you?
Master,
No.
Lord, God,
No,
King.
no. It's Dragonfish. No, what was it?
Captain Awesome.
No, that's not it. I don't think that's it.
Shazam!
Yeah, lump sucker.
I got your lump sucker.
CJ the lump sucker. You like that, don't you?
That's what your mom calls
Hey,
me. So
hey, quit it.
we might as well stick with that.
Jeez, not appropriate.
Shots fired.
Right before Mother's Day, really?
I know. I told her, stop calling me.
Inappropriate, CJ.
And then she
inappropriate.
texts. And I'm
Okay.
like, stop texting
All right,
me.
quit it.
It's inappropriate.
I do have a question for Kristen. I came across this story, and the headline read, "I'm a real-life mermaid, and I can hold my breath for 4 minutes."
Wow.
Is there some kind of mermaid protocol that you have to be able to hold your breath for 4 minutes to be a mermaid, Kristen? What is this?
No, not at all.
Is this just a mermaid braggart that's out there?
I think she's bragging about how long she can hold her breath because, I mean, I know people who aren't mermaids who can hold their breath longer than that. But
So she can suck it, is what you're saying?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, is there like a minimum? Like, because, mermaids.
It's professional. It's not mandatory. Like, there's no like minimum requirement for how long you have to be able to hold your breath.
Yeah.
Some people might, like, if you're doing like aquarium shows or something, some people might ask that you can at least hold your breath for like a minute, but
Right.
nobody
That's
really
so you
says.
can take
"Hey."
a picture, right?
I'm sorry.
Long
That's
enough
so
to
you
take a
can
picture.
take a picture
Yeah.
without bubbles. Just hold your breath for a minute.
Right.
Yeah,
you got
I
it.
mean,
You're getting it.
Yeah.
more realistic kind of look, I guess. But
Yes.
no, I've never heard anybody say anything about minimum requirement for how long you have to hold your breath.
Right. Well,
Like for our competition for Miss Mermaid USA, we had to, like, one of the things we had to do was swim 50 meters underwater on one breath. But that's the only thing that I've ever come across that's like you have to be able to hold your breath.
okay. Well, 50, I mean, that was at least a minute then, wasn't it?
I guess it just depends on how fast you swim.
Yeah. Have you ever done a free diving course? Like, what Mermaid Rachel teaches? She's a free diving instructor, right?
I actually started it right before the start of COVID. Like, so in March, when COVID started, I started the course, but then came home and had the accident. And so now I have to start it all over again.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
We
mean,
should
I've actually went through a beginning course for free diving. How long do you think I can hold my breath doing that stuff, Jerry? What would be your guess? Knowing that
30
I'm a
seconds.
top physical specimen. What?
Well, actually, it depends on who gasses off in the car with you, Greg.
What? I don't know what you're saying. No, in the pool, I did a class. How long do you think I held
2
my
minutes.
breath? 2 minutes. You say 2 minutes. What do you say, Casey? What do you think? You know me. What have you done, Casey?
I know you could be pretty bullheaded, so you probably would have held it just as long as you could. I'll say 3 minutes.
He goes 3. Vinny, what do you think? You gonna get in on this?
I'd say a minute if you're lucky.
Minute if I'm lucky. So
2:30.
Very little faith from Vinny
2
Two
minutes,
Tanks.
30 seconds.
And Bubble Boy.
2 minutes and 43 seconds.
The correct answer.
You didn't ask Kristen.
Well, Kristen, what do you say? You know me enough, I guess. How long do you think I held my breath during the
I'd
free
say
diving course?
2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes.
That's what I said.
Not much faith from
smart.
Kristen either. It was 3:07. Thank you very much.
Crap.
Nope.
Was that sitting still? Or was that
Yeah. It was. We were doing the class. You do it in a pool, and you actually practice putting your face in the water, staying still, and there you kind of have to work up to it. But it's a whole technique. You
Greg,
can do
you're
it.
describing a baptism.
So is that you
Yeah,
were
kind
doing
of.
the on the static apnea? Where
Yes.
you just, like,
That's it. Static apnea.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the techniques that you use before you start swimming around and stuff. But what was great is I was actually doing the class with one of our mermaids, and so we kind of had like a little
competition.
Yeah, a little friendly competition. I'm the older guy, and
I
she's a
remember this.
mermaid.
She got
Then you
mad
beat
at
her
you.
out every time.
She did 3:02, and she was very upset. Gotcha. But yeah, and pretty much anybody, if I can do 307, anybody can pretty much do it. It's all about technique and having the right instructor, and they just
if you really
find
wanted
your happy
to do
place.
it, we could always call Megan Haney Greer and have her come give lessons.
Well, that's true. Well, but we got Mermaid Rachel. She's a free diving instructor.
Well, we got Mermaid Rachel. Yes.
Yeah. So she can show us how to do
someone that
stuff.
would actually talk to us.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it depends on the day.
She's doing a free diving competition during the scuba show.
Well, she's talking about checking out one of the competitions that are going on in California during the scuba show, but we'll see. But yeah, that's in the works. So Jerry, have you ever held your breath longer than a minute?
I have got over just a little bit over 3 minutes, but
that's
when I was young and dumb.
That is a liar.
No, it wasn't much over 3.
Well, doing what? Was it a free diving course?
No.
You're just doing it just to prove that you could.
I just working at it.
He was
hiding from the tax people up by his still. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Aha.
Somebody farted.
From the revenuers.
From the revenuers?
Yes.
Okay.
All them dukes.
That's the people after your moonshine still drink.
Those are a different group of gangsters, I think.
Oh, hey, look at the time.
Yeah, thank goodness. We're out of it.
Oh, thank God.
Next week, we got a special show for you. And then the week after that, you will hear our broadcast from the Scuba Show in Long Beach, California. And after that, from the Florida Keys. So we got a pretty busy schedule. So make sure you check in and share the show accordingly. On that note, we'll wrap it up. Till next time, remember, it's always better wear, gang.
Downward sweater.
Downward sweater.
Safe diving, everyone.
If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio.
This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.